Alright, this is a rant where pretty much it's been held in me for too long. Alright, now this is about the Jeremy Mayfield situation, where basically I'll give you the short story from this article here. NASCAR suspended Jeremy Mayfield for failing a random drug test collected May 1st and said he tested positive for methamphetamines twice. Mayfield denied using the drug, saying that, his positive result from May 1st came from a mix of Adderall for ADHD and Claritin D. And now, apparently, NASCAR, later after, Jeremy Mayfield, got the suspension got lifted from him. Got lifted because, they found out, they found out that, just something happened, they needed to do, I guess, a retrial or something, and long story short, yeah. Then later on, now apparently NASCAR is going to go, they've asked a federal judge to order a mental and physical examination of suspended driver Jeremy Mayfield to determine if he has a substance abuse problem or attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADHD. Okay, NASCAR, I've got one thing to say to you. Get the fuck over it. Get the fuck over it. We don't want to hear about this shit anymore. We didn't want to hear about Jeremy Mayfield getting suspended in the first place. Now, you're basically pouring more onto this, where you're basically saying, we're big idiots, we're the biggest fucking idiots on the face of this earth, because we have to basically pick on a driver that is not anywhere near popular in order to prove a point about drug testing. We want to prove that we're going to win. We want to prove that we can win against the low driver. We want to prove that we're right about something by making a big ass out of ourselves just to prove about this drug testing policy. It probably didn't make sense, but you get my drift. They're trying to prove that this drug testing policy is a good thing by picking on one of the lower ends of the branch. Picking on the low end of the food chain in this NASCAR business. No one is going to win this, honestly. Basically, yeah. Mayfield is innocent, but yet NASCAR, I honestly believe that Mayfield did not do drugs. Apparently, according to NASCAR, they've got affidavits and all this sort of stuff from three friends of... They got affidavits and a deposition from people that knew Jeremy Mayfield and apparently saw him snorting methamphetamines. And I'll read this from the news article. The deposition is from former brother-in-law David Keith, who testified he witnessed Mayfield snort methamphetamine in his house, garage, and car from 1998 through 2000. The deposition was taken August 19th with attorneys for NASCAR and Mayfield in attendance, and Keith testified the driver's drug use escalated to daily usage. And apparently the affidavits are saying stuff like one of his friends said that he witnessed him using methamphetamine in his garage, at his home, in the NASCAR garage, in his home, on his boat, and apparently he said he was driving to Wilsonville Speedway 99 when he pulled over and said, "You want to hit one?" and snorted methamphetamine off a mirror. Another one of his friends also claimed to witness Mayfield use methamphetamines in 06 to 07 and all that sort of stuff. Okay, first of all, if Jeremy Mayfield did all this before, up to now, why the hell did you not frame him for this a few years ago? I don't care. I understand that drug testing for NASCAR didn't exactly come into fold in like 2000, 2005, just like a couple years ago. But you still could have fucking done something to say, okay, Jeremy Mayfield did this, end the story. You couldn't have brought it. You just had to bring it up now. Second of all, okay, I'm willing to bet that none of this information really is true. If it is true, you could have used it, but I'm willing to bet that none of this is true. Okay? Because again, this goes along with the point where if he did not use this drug, or if he used this drug, rather, why would he test positive now? if he used this drug between 1999, back when he was back at Penske, and then when he went to Ray Evernham Racing, and then when he went over to Bill Davis Racing. If he just tested positive now, but yet he's been using the drug. Okay, if he's been using this drug for 10 years, then and escalated to daily use, then why has he tested positive just now? It could be that you're just trying to pull the wool over our eyes, and that you're just trying to make us think, oh, well, he's been using the drug for 10 years, so I guess, or supposedly, so I guess he really did do it. Well, how could he if he just tested positive now? If he just tested positive now. Sorry about the voice crack there, but still, if he just tested positive now, how could he have used the drug for this long? How? I'd like to know. And third of all, and most importantly, don't you think this is getting a bit out of hand, NASCAR? Don't you think trying to prove your points just going to get, it's just going to make you look worse and worse? You're just making yourselves look worse and worse every second. Like, I don't understand. And this is not the first time that NASCAR screwed up. You remember the Reagan Smith incident. Reagan Smith, to avoid spinning Tony Stewart, to avoid killing people, went down below the apron just so he could, granted he completed a pass, but he had nowhere to go. He had to go down to the apron at a super speedway race, and he passed and won the race, but then NASCAR did not allow the pass, and they took the win away from him. Everybody was mad. This is making NASCAR look even worse. Every single time, If you're gonna get Mayfield for this, if Mayfield used drugs for 10 years, then why the hell have you not gotten a positive result now? Because if he just tested positive now, what about the other years that he had used the drug, especially during when NASCAR actually had drug testing? Because as far as I know, NASCAR has had drug testing for at least a couple years. This is honestly turning into another MLB steroid scandal, where basically 2002 or 2003 or whereabouts, Mark McGwire tested positive for steroids or something like that. He testified using steroids. Then this whole big shenanigan about steroid use in baseball, and then this whole list of people that use NASCAR, or not use NASCAR, use steroids. MLB starts reviewing the players one by one by one. Everybody's like, will you just get this fucking thing over with? This is the same fucking thing. Honestly, if you're gonna get this guy, if you're gonna get him, then don't, for the love of God, do not wait 10 years. Do not wait 10 years just to condemn the guy. Put it out there. End of story. If he tested positive, if he tested positive just now, again, I'll say it, if he tested positive just now, but yet he's been using the drug for 10 years, what about the other drug tests? What about the other drug tests? If there were any, if he got it just now, if he just got caught now, then could it have been that he took Claritin and Adderall? I don't know. Point is, I'm tired of this shit. NASCAR needs to fucking fix it. If NASCAR doesn't NASCAR will never fucking fix it, honestly. If I'm honest with you, NASCAR is never going to fucking fix it, because they want to prove a point by saying, ha ha ha, we're better, we're going to prove that we're right, and that Jeremy Mayfield did this. What they're essentially doing is making themselves look like complete asses, and they're making themselves look worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. They won't give up. They will never ever give up on this subject. Honestly, I wish they would. If they don't fucking do it, I'm just going to stop watching NASCAR. I honestly will just stop watching NASCAR. I'm barely watching Sprint Cup as it is. Just stop this shit, NASCAR. We're tired of it.